question about how you would know it was your last incarnation in terms of your earth journey, and how would you know that? What would that feel like? So again, the best way I can explain this is you just know. I've always known, and it's not like it was something that is like that I've read about or that has newly been presented to me and it's just sort of a fleeting, feeling that I have. I have always, first of all, from a very young age, not felt that this was my primary home planet, which again sounds really weird in the sense that even when I was a little kid, this was the feeling that I had. Very, very strong knowing of this. And although I have a deep connection to planet Earth, to the natural world, to the animal life of this planet, all of the plants, everything natural, I feel very, very connected to that part of creation. And I have a sort of connection to the human species in the sense of I wish well for all humanity. I also feel a lot of frustration for their very basic ignorance. So things that are so incredibly simple and seem so incredibly simple, humans cannot get past the basics. And I see this over and over and over in so many circumstances, in terms of the ego and pride and not being able to put the other first, or not being able to see the bigger picture. So human beings have a big problem with this. They want to always appear in the best light, and they have trouble to take less for the greater good. They have a difficult time with collective consciousness, essentially. And that is the biggest downfall, is that human beings have trouble working collectively. Most human beings are here for themselves or for their isolated family group, and that is what they will do all sorts of strange things for: manipulate, steal, lie, cheat, overinflate themselves. It runs the gamut. So again, it's not that I am specifically against humankind, and I obviously have a human body. I'm in an incarnation that is human, so obviously I have to identify as human as much as I possibly can, but I do not feel a great camaraderie with a lot of very unawake human expression of consciousness, if that makes sense. And there's no attack, there's still love. Just because you don't feel a lot of things in common doesn't mean you can't love them unconditionally. But again, back to the phrase, they know not what they do. This is just, there's so many people that just are running amok. They are doing crazy things that are hurting the planet, that are hurting each other, that are hurting, in a very macro sense and a very micro sense. It's on all levels, and there's no sense in it when you look at the big picture. We're destroying the planet. We destroy each other continually, all day long, with the simplest things. And kindness is not, and compassion and service to others is not our first offering. It's like this, again, it's very much survival of the fittest here. And while that might be okay to some degree, it's not the way that we create a beautiful existence, or the highest level of a beautiful existence. So circling back to the knowing of one's here on earth? How do we know? How would we know if it's our last lifetime? Karmically, so if we talk about karma, you are going to know that you have helped more than you've hurt. You are going to know that you've probably been in service of others over and over and over and over again. Maybe even not with a lot of residual benefits back to yourself, but you will just know definitively that you have a lot of good karma that you've created, and you will feel no semblance of guilt for any action that you've taken in terms of how you've operated in your life. You will just know that you've done it to the best of your ability. So that's one element that you will feel when you're on your last lifetime. You'll also not have a real attachment to the body that you're in or the circumstances. You will feel okay with whatever happens. Like there's a letting go and a knowing that everything is okay. You sort of start to detach from this need to control everything, and you understand that there's a divine plan. You finally have this expansive realization that planet Earth is doing what it's doing. It has its purpose. It is a huge place for growth and learning. It offers a tremendous amount of catalyst. That's wonderful, and that's part of the divine plan. And you also don't feel like it's your job to fix it all. You do the best that you can while you're here. You understand that, again, you can only give as much as you possibly can from one life's projection, and then you let the rest go. And you also will start to realize that even if things are extremely chaotic, that is part of the way things kind of roll here, if that makes sense. And not that we condone it, not that we are happy with it. In fact, it's gut-wrenching because it's the way to fix it is so simple. It's so simple, but it's honestly, it's not something that most humans wish to choose, because the things that our human society puts first are economic. They are, to do with our political structures, deep-seated need to have financial control, depending on the different global groups. So these are so deeply rooted in the enormity of society that although the fix is simple, it seems simple, it would be very, very difficult for the way that consciousness is calibrating in terms of planet Earth for massive changes to happen. And you realize that, and you allow it to be, and you also do the best you can with each and every individual that you align yourself with, and then you let it go. And the journey home. So again, I want to talk in the next video about, well, where do you go if you know that you're not going to be here? Then where would you go, or what does that look like? And explaining a little bit about the different levels of existence from only my perspective. I'm not going to teach it in terms of this being the truth, because again, everyone's projection is a little bit different, and everybody's truth is an assimilation of all of their experiences, their core soul frequency, their own knowing, their background. So I can only speak to the accumulation of my own experience. Okay? Hopefully this is helpful.